Here's what's coming up on Beacon Retirement Strategies.
A variable annuity, on the other end, there's nothing fixed about that. Your money is in the stock market, but it's in the form of an annuity, wrapped in an annuity, and it's really just, in my opinion, a way to pay higher fees on something that's in the stock market.
Social Security accounts for about 20-30% of a retiree's income needs throughout retirement. The problem is, if you don't absolutely need to take it at 62, you probably shouldn't.
If something can be utilized as a building block and be right for people in retirement, we want to know that it's a tool that we keep in the toolbox.
And now the hosts of Beacon Retirement Strategies, Pete Benson and John Maxson. Guys, we got a great show planned up for this week.
We do. There's 30 minutes of power-packed information just for you.
So don't go anywhere. The show starts right now.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Roundtable. Guys, the topic today, totally controversial, something we talk about in almost every show, and it is the topic of annuities. And I know people at home, they're listening right now, oh, annuities, some like them, some hate them. Some advisors love them, some advisors hate them. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly today. Pete, I'm going to begin with you. Are all annuities created equal?
No, they sure aren't. But I'll tell you what, if you want to empty a room of people, just bring up the topic of annuities. For whatever reason that, they're schooled and primed to just run from annuities until they fully understand them. And there's certainly some that we would say at Beacon, you need to run away from and need to stay away. The problem is many advisors who don't want to deal with, really getting educated and knowing them, being able to explain them to their clients, they just take the easy way out and say, we're going to throw all the babies out with the bathwater and just say they're all bad. But if something can be utilized as a building block and be right for people in retirement, we want to know that it's a tool that we keep in the toolbox. So there can be some that you'd want to look at. There can be others that you want to run from.
And you know what? That's it, Pete. It's just another tool in the toolbox. Mm-hmm. And when you're a company like you guys, you have a lot of tools. So it's important to investigate, I have this client, here's their needs. Potentially, that tool could be a good one. There are 4 different types of tools, right, under the annuity umbrella. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, so very controversial, very confusing. The one that probably gets the biggest sort of negative news flow, if it was a variable annuity. And a variable annuity is essentially a sub-account of mutual funds. It can go up or it can go down. People that own them probably feel really good about their annuity value when the market's going up, and they probably feel really bad when the market's going down. One of the reasons that this type of annuity gets a lot of bad press, though, is in addition to the volatility of the market, it's got a lot of internal fees typically, and they can range anywhere from 3.5% to upwards of 4%. So then you have what's called an immediate annuity, which if you're fortunate enough to have a pension in America today, it's an immediate annuity. The term annuity literally means to guarantee income. All pensions in America today are immediate annuities. And so those are the 2 most widely known annuities, but there's a couple of more. There's a fixed annuity, and a fixed annuity is just a declared rate of return. It's a little bit like a bank CD, not FDIC insured. So if you do one of these, you want to make sure that you have a good A-rated insurance company, but it's just a declared rate of interest. And then a newer kid on the block, so to speak, although it's grown quite a bit, is what's called a hybrid annuity or a fixed index annuity. It's principal protected, but your interest or how much money you make is based on an underlying market index. If that index goes up, your account value goes up with it, but not as much. There's a cap, there's a trade-off. But one of the other trade-offs is if the market doesn't go down, if the market does go down, you don't lose anything. So we believe in the right situation, it's a fair trade-off.
And there, with some of these, Pete, there's a lot of little working parts inside. The rider, the this, the that. How can people be aware of that? My feeling is that a lot of folks may have an annuity, but they don't understand these little tiny pieces that have been turned on inside that have extra fees associated that they may not need. Or there might be an income piece that's turned on, but they don't need income. So there's all these little levers, right?
Understanding what you've got is very, very important, and that's why we would say, come in and let us review what you have. Almost nobody, when they bring their annuity policy or contract or information into us, really fully understands it when they come in, but they do when they leave. It can be confusing, but a lot of it can be, quite simple too. We put it in simple terms. And you can get a plain vanilla annuity that just has no extra bells and whistles. It's just conservative accumulation. And then other people say, hey, I like the idea of having some long-term care protection attached to this, and it's really at a pretty reasonable cost inside the annuity. Other people like the idea that, it could be a death benefit left for a spouse or children. And so there's income riders that can guarantee a certain amount of income for the rest of your life. So it really depends on what are you looking for, and there's lots of different options, and maybe there's none of those that's right for you, and that's okay. But I don't think you should dismiss a particular investment just because somebody's willing to pay a lot of money in media or on the television to give their opinion that they're all bad. They are not the measure of all things. They are not the person who should decide whether these are all bad for everybody, when hundreds of thousands of people in America may have one or kind of one, and they actually like it. Anyone who has a pension, not anybody that's ever come into our office, when I said, hey, would you give that up and just stop it? Then nobody wants to do that. They like that. So there can be aspects that are very positive.
Pete, John, thank you so much. If you want to get the right information about annuities, pick up the phone right now. Give us a call in the office. We'd love to have a conversation with you about what you have or what you might need. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
John, one of the things I love hearing around our office from clients is that they love the full service, comprehensive approach that we have.
Well, it's been a game changer for our clients and for prospective clients because they can come to one place and meet with all these guys.
Yeah, I've found that clients find a lot of value in the estate planning area, having the opportunity to meet with a tax professional or a financial professional all in the same room most of the time. It allows us to set up a more thorough plan for them.
And they have a lot of questions about health care and that too, Dan.
Now that we have Frankie in the office doing health care, he can do Medicare, he can do standalone plans if you want to retire before the age of 65. That's complicated. Yep. There's some great plans out there. A lot of people don't know there are because it's too complicated. Now we have one person in-house that can really research all of those, who's fully independent.
The number one thing I'm asked when people come in is, what is a tax-efficient planning strategy? And what I talk to them about is, how do you get some tax-free assets, whether it's Roth conversions, Roth IRAs, other ways of getting tax-free assets. What we're trying to do is make sure that people are able to keep more of their hard-earned money.
How would you like the opportunity of being able to sit around a table in one office and be able to have help all in a good comprehensive plan for taxes, healthcare, income, estate planning, investments, and all of that? Well, guess what? You can at Beacon Capital Management. Give us a call. We'd love to be able to meet you and help you in any way that we could. 615-436-6000. Give us a call. All of us would love the opportunity to be able to help you and your family.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television. Hi, and welcome to this week's AskBeaconNow.com, where you email your questions into us and we answer them right here on the show. Pete, my first question is from Gwen in Goodlettsville. And she writes, Pete, I feel like our investments, well, they're all over the place. My husband and I are very conservative. Where can we put our money today to keep it safe besides the bank? Also, we'd like to have it grow a little too.
Well, Gwen asked a very important question, and actually a very common question. Where can you have some conservative money that you don't want to lose a ton, or hopefully any at all, but get a reasonable rate of return? I'm telling you, that's like a needle in a haystack. So it's not easy to find something, but there are some options. I mean, the bank is there, of course, and there are options there, but 1 to 2% at the high side is about what you're going to get. You can go to government treasuries, so you can put some money there and perhaps get 2.5%. So you're working your way up a little bit. A fixed annuity, a fixed rate annuity, acts somewhat like a CD, but it's not FDIC insured. But you may be able to get 3.5 in that, and at least now you're getting up to inflation. And a fixed indexed annuity is another option where you could at least not lose anything in the down years, but in the up years, you may get 3%, 5%, even 7% or greater in a good year. And so there are some options out there. They're not very many, but you want to look at all the things that are available.
Thanks, Pete. My next question is from Robert in Nolensville, and he writes, I've heard of fixed annuities, and I've heard you mention variable, fixed rate, and fixed indexed annuities on your show. Are they essentially the same thing?
Well, a lot of people think they are. An annuity is an annuity is an annuity, like a mutual fund is a mutual fund. That's not the case. There's different kinds of annuities. And so a fixed rate annuity is one, again, that it's a set rate of return. I call it a bird in the hand. You know what you're going to get when you begin the year and when you end the year. And it may be locked in for a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. You get to choose that. And then a variable annuity on the other end, there's nothing fixed about that. Your money is in the stock market, but it's in the form of an annuity, wrapped in an annuity. And it's really just, in my opinion, a way to pay higher fees on something that's in the stock market. So it's not like there's never a place for it, but for the most part, that would be something that we would not turn to for an investor right now. But a fixed indexed annuity blends some of the positives of both of those. And so your principal is fixed in that it doesn't go down when the stock market goes down 10, 20, 30%. But your rate of return could be somewhere between 0 and 10% or whatever in a given year, depending on the caps and the opportunity for growth in a particular year. The good thing about it is whatever you make in a year, you get to keep that. So if the market goes back down in, say, the second year, and maybe you were fortunate enough you made like 7% the first year, you keep that 7% and you don't go back down. So again, there's differences between the three, and what I would tell folks is make sure you get all the information, get all your questions answered before you invest any money or make any decision.
Pete, thanks so much. And I want to thank Gwen and Robert for those wonderful questions. Hey, if you want your questions answered here on the show, super easy. Just go to askbeaconnow.com and keep sending those questions in to us. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This week's tax tip is regarding tax planning strategies for the Secure Act. The Secure Act was passed in December of 2019. One of the biggest changes in the new bill is the removal of Stretch IRA. This new rule will require depletion of the inherited IRA within 10 years of the death of the original account holder. The Congressional Research Service estimates that this will raise an estimated $15.7 billion in tax revenue. This change may make passing on your legacy to the next generation more costly for the individuals receiving the IRA. Roth conversions and permanent life insurance can minimize this tax impact. Since most people are familiar with the Roth strategy, I'm going to focus on the life insurance strategy. Certain types of permanent life insurance get preferential treatment under the Internal Revenue Code. The life insurance premiums will be paid from IRA funds, and similar to Roth conversions, you would pay taxes now while the rates are low. This strategy can provide certain tax-free benefits, including policy loans for income, long-term care benefits, and a death benefit for legacy planning. You should consult with a CPA and financial planner to address the potential implications of the Secure Act. That's your tax tip of the week.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet with someone new. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you'll be able to get a clearly defined retirement income plan is to talk to an independent advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who is specialized in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated to getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you'll receive a free complete planning review. There's no obligation and no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you'll receive: a free report to sort through your current fees, a tailored plan to help protect your investments, a tax analysis to reduce your tax liability and increase cash flow to you and your family, and a custom income plan to support your lifestyle. So call now for your free, no obligation Beacon Retirement Blueprint.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television. Hi, and welcome to this week's Retirement True or False. Gentlemen, I have some great questions today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Social Security should be taken at age 62 as soon as you are eligible for it. True or false?
Well, that can be true, but it's typically false. And Social Security accounts for about 20-30% of a retiree's income needs throughout retirement. The problem is, if you don't absolutely need to take it at 62, you probably shouldn't, because taking it early before full retirement, which is typically around 66 for most folks, means you're signing up for a 25% permanent reduction. It's like a permanent penalty. And if you add to that the fact that significantly more of your Social Security will be taxed at 62, it's usually a bad deal for most people if they don't need to take it at 62, if they live to what average life expectancies are today. The problem, though, is, Mark, not a lot of advisors give people that are retiring the feedback around Social Security because it's not really something we're compensated for.
So how important, Pete, is the Social Security piece in someone's retirement?
Very important. We call it the cornerstone of the foundation of your income in retirement. And so it's one of the first things you really need to decide, and then build around that all the other pieces, whether it's pensions or other income generating products and investments that you have. So yeah, it's very, very important. And the good news is, at our firm, we're willing to do a Social Security maximizer that really puts your situation and your information, your Social Security options through this grid, and maybe gives you the top 5 options. And then we walk you through that and decide what would be best and build around that. Very important.
I read somewhere, John, that if you do it correctly, this could add tens of thousands, maybe even more, to your overall retirement. True statement?
Absolutely true. It's going to be different for everyone, but this report, the Social Security maximization that Pete talked about, will really illustrate that. And I'll give you a tangible example. Once you reach full retirement, let's assume that's 66 for an individual. If you don't take it at 66, it goes up 8% a year guaranteed by the federal government to age 70. And if you're married, you really have to consider, in particular, if the husband was a higher income earner, a lot of times folks will look at Social Security through their own life expectancy. But statistically speaking, men die before their wives, not always. So if the husband was a higher income earner, you probably, if you can, want to delay that as long as possible, because at the passing of a first spouse, the lower of the 2 Social Securities goes away. So the husband, if he's the higher income earner, really needs to look at his Social Security choices through the life expectancy of his wife.
So I just want to make sure I have that correct. It's 8% per year. After 66.
After full retirement.
After full retirement.
Right, after full retirement.
So that's big money, Pete.
In 4 years, 32% more money for the rest of your life.
Not a lot of investments like that out there, if you can wait to take the money, right? If you can wait to take the money.
And with a plan, a lot of times people can. But if they just kind of throw a dart against the wall and pick something, that's not a good way to do it. And many people do, unfortunately. We're willing to help them not do that.
So if ever there was a great reason to call in today and make an appointment with you guys, a visit with you guys, hey, get this Social Security Optimizer report done. Find out what's right for you. Pete, my next question is for you. Most investors are well prepared for the next stock market correction, true or false?
That would be false. I mean, come on, we all like to get those good gains, and we never think they're going to go away, and we have time. And so what if it keeps going up a little bit higher? So we reach higher and higher, and the next thing, boom, it's down in one day, several percent, and then in a week or a month, 10%. Well, now we can't make any changes because we have to wait until it comes back. So most people are not prepared. And it's good to be positive, to think, that it's going to keep going up. but you also need to keep your head, and you need to make good decisions, not just based on emotion and what you want, but what is reality and how close are we and what does the evidence show. Make good decisions based on that.
You know, and it seems to me like this is an area where you really need to have regular communication with your advisors. Listen, the majority of people in the world, this isn't what they do for a living.
And the
They can't
older
look
you
at-
get,
Yeah.
you need more because, again, it becomes more important. A 30-year-old has another 30-some years.
They don't have to worry about
They
it.
don't have to worry. But if you are 50 or over, 55 or over, then you really can't afford not to be paying attention and getting regular updates on when and what you should rebalance and if you should.
Pete, John, thanks so much. Hey, if you want more information about what we spoke about here today, give us a call in the office. We'd love to start a conversation, or go to our website. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Today's Master's Money Moment is about being prepared and having a plan. Proverbs 22:3 says, "A prudent man foresees the difficulties ahead and prepares or plans for them. The simpleton goes blindly on and just suffers the consequences." So in this verse, it talks about the fact that a prudent man, someone who really wants to have a good buttoned up financial situation, needs to have a plan, needs to be prepared. And we agree with that. At the Beacon office, we teach that every single week. How important it is to have a plan and be prepared. But the simpleton, it says, goes blindly on and just suffers the consequences. And we've seen over and over and over again examples of people that come into our office that just really didn't have any kind of a plan, that were just winging it, and they were suffering the consequences. So again, we see here again where the Bible is relevant and has great things to say that can really benefit our financial situation. Be prepared, have a plan. This is today's Master's Money Moment.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet with someone new. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you'll be able to get a clearly defined income plan is to talk to an independent financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who is specialized in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated to getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you will receive a free complimentary planning review. There's no obligation, no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you'll receive: a free report to sort through your current fees, a tailored plan to help protect your investments, a tax analysis to reduce your tax liability and increase your cash flow to your family, and a custom income plan to support your lifestyle. So call now for your free, no obligation Beacon Retirement Blueprint.
This week we're going to be talking about estate planning with charitable giving. For many, charitable giving is a way of life, whether it is to support an organization that has touched your life in a meaningful way, a school or university that has put you on the road to success, or simply a cause that you feel passionate about. Charitable giving not only offers emotional benefits, but practical ones as well. For motivated donors, one question is how much do you give throughout your lifetime, and what to leave as a charitable gift in your will or trust. For those who are not concerned about the use of the assets during their lifetime for care and enjoyment, a charitable gift may be a regular occurrence. Others may choose to pass on assets after their death in addition to, or sometimes in place of, passing on assets to family members. The options for charitable giving within an estate plan are varied. Some options include making a gift at death through a will or a trust, gift annuities, family foundations, donor-advised funds, or charitable trust. If you're interested in learning more about the many benefits of charitable estate planning, reach out to an estate planning attorney in your area. And that's your estate planning tip of the week.
The most rewarding aspect of what I get to do each and every day is when you have people come in who seem to be confused and there's anxiety, they have fear about the future, being able to really walk them through a detailed process and provide solid answers that are simple for them to understand that, hey, there is hope. You can have a solid plan. You can have a really bright future. You don't have to be worried about what's happening in the world. We actually can live with peace of mind. You bring that client into the experience, which I think is very, very important, to not just sell them a product or to say, hey, I'm the financial guy, just trust me. When you engage them and you bring them into the process and you explain things to them and you really open everything up so they can understand what they have and what their investments are supposed to do for them, and then to watch the fear and the anxiety really lower to where they have the confidence of knowing they have a great plan, is really a rewarding experience. And then I would add to that the fact that we've been able to do a lot of generational business. That's one of the best tests. It's not just the parents. We've done business with several generations now, which is really rewarding. Now our hope is that this is going to be something that's going to be serving Nashville for generations to come through our families, where we're really able to put people's financial plans on a roadmap that gives them peace of mind.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Are you worried that your financial strategy is missing something? Today's retirees and pre-retirees will need to utilize the services of a qualified legal and tax team, as well as a financial advisory firm. The professionals at Beacon Capital Management, Beacon Accounting and Tax Services, and Knight Legal are committed to being your comprehensive wealth and retirement planning solution. And here's the best part. All of these services are under one roof. That's right, let Beacon Capital Management effectively coordinate all of your retirement, legal, and tax planning needs. Our unique combination of licenses, registrations, and specialized education qualify us to work with a wide variety of investments. We can create a solution for virtually every retirement scenario, no matter how simple or complex. Call us today and experience the Beacon difference. Imagine all of your investment, tax, and estate planning questions being addressed around a single table. Call now for a complimentary retirement analysis. There's no cost and there's no obligation as long as you have saved at least $200,000 for retirement. Call us now, and remember, at Beacon Capital Management, peace of mind in retirement requires a plan.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television. Hey guys, great show this week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, and if you'd like more information, give us a call at the office or go to our website.
And remember this, peace of mind in retirement requires a plan.